I hated going to school. My life was miserable. I couldn't help being a computer whiz kid, could I? I was a 14-year-old boy. I hated going to school. My life was miserable. I couldn't help being a computer whiz kid, could I? I was a 14-year-old boy with 0 friends. All the boys in school thought I was a nerd and bullied me, so I decided I would take matters into my own hands. That's why I decided I would hack into the school's database and change my life. But before I go on, make sure you like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Then maybe your life will change too. It was the last day of term, the end of the school year. Finally, I had something to look forward to, the school holidays. But first, I had to get through one more day at school. I picked up my school bag and set off. I walked to school alone, as I did every day. Nobody wanted to walk with the computer nerd. That's what they called me. As I walked through the school gates, I saw the school bully, Jason, standing in the doorway. I had no choice but to walk past him. As I got near, he spotted me. "Well, look who it is," he laughed. "Kevin the Geek." I ignored him and walked on. The quicker I got to the classroom, the quicker he would stop the name calling. He couldn't pick on me when the teacher was there. But when I walked into the classroom, the teacher was nowhere to be seen. Jason walked in after me. "Oh no, poor geek," he said. "Is your bodyguard not here?" The other kids laughed. "What are you gonna do during the holidays, geek?" asked Jason. "Play your computer all day, I guess, because you've got no friends." Everyone burst out laughing again. I almost burst into tears, but thankfully Mrs. Thompson walked in and saved me. "Come on now, class, take your seats and open your books at page 31, she said. Even though Jason and the other boys couldn't call me names now, it didn't stop them thinking of other ways to bully me. They rolled up pieces of paper and threw them at my head. When the bell rang, they stuck out their legs, so I tripped as I left the room. I was so happy when the final bell rang. I grabbed my bag and ran out of the school gates and straight home. Now I would be free for a whole month. No more bullying. The school holidays flew by. I spent my days at home studying and playing on my computer. It wasn't long before the final day of school holidays arrived. I was dreading going back to school. I sat in my room just wishing that I could stay there forever. Why oh why did I have to have boys in my class? The girls weren't mean to me. Well, actually they just ignored me, but that was fine. I wish I could be in a class full of girls. That's when the idea came into my head. What if I could hack into the school's database? I sat down at my computer and started tapping away, and it didn't take me long before I was into the school's computer system. A few minutes later, and I had rearranged all the classrooms. Now I was the only boy in my class. The first day of term was pretty much like any other school morning, except today I was excited to go to school. I couldn't wait to see if my plan had worked. I walked into my classroom and sure enough, there wasn't another boy to be seen. I sat down next to Julie and she smiled at me. "Looks like you're the only boy in our class this year," she said. "Don't you think that's weird?" "No," I replied. "I think it's perfect." She looked at me strangely after I answered her. I'd better be careful what I said in the future. I didn't want anyone to think I wanted to be in a class full of girls, or they might think I had something to do with it. The weeks went by and everything was fine. The girls started being quite friendly with me. They asked me to sit with them at lunchtime, which was really nice. Weeks went by and everything was fine. The girls started being quite friendly with me. They asked me to sit with them at lunchtime, which was really nice. I usually ate my lunch alone, trying to keep out of the way of Jason. Now I sat with the girls, laughing and giggling with them. Jason had pretty much forgotten about me now. I suppose it was a case of out of sight, out of mind. Or maybe he had found someone else to bully. "What are you doing on Saturday, Kevin?" asked Molly. Molly was the most popular girl in class. All the other girls wanted to be best friends with Molly. They hung on every word. They copied the clothes she wore and laughed at her jokes, even when they weren't funny. "Oh, nothing really," I replied. "I'll probably just play on my computer." "Why don't you come over to my house?" said Molly. "We are having a pool party." "Sure," I said. "Sounds like fun." I couldn't believe it. Not only had the bullying stopped at school, now I was actually being invited to a friend's house. I couldn't wait for Saturday to come around. I packed my swim stuff in a bag and shouted to Mom, "Bye, Mom, I'm going to Molly's house." "Bye, darling, have fun," said Mom. When I got to Molly's house, so I changed quickly and joined them. I was really enjoying myself until one of the girls, Debbie, said to me, "Kevin, don't you think it's strange you're the only boy in our class? Have you any idea how that can be?" I looked at her. How should I handle this? "Yeah, it's a bit funny, but I'm cool with it," I replied. "Did you have anything to do with it?" she went on. Me? I stammered. Why would I have anything to do with it? But it was too late. My face was bright red and she knew I was guilty. "I knew it!" she screamed to the other girls. "It was Kevin all along." The other girls gathered around me, all asking questions at the same time. "How did you do it? Why did you do it? Why didn't you tell us?" Okay, I said. "Yes, it was me. I hacked into the school database and what the girls asked, then they would go to the principal and tell him I had changed the classrooms around. I couldn't risk being in class with Jason again, so I continued doing what the girls asked. It was nearly the end of the term and we had our final exams. I wasn't really nervous. I had been studying and revising a lot